long you're going to live, I'm often asked, how long do I have? I have no clue. I hate when doctors say 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. One of my patients had a gallbladder cancer. He was told by the cancer specialist 2 months. Great story. I said to him, how long do you want to live? He says, I want to see my grandkid get born. When's that? 5 months. Great. Made it to that grandkid. Okay, let's pick another goal. I want to see, I want to go to the Grand Canyon. Okay, fine. Went to the Grand Canyon. We're at 9 months now. What do you want to do now? Oh, my daughter-in-law is pregnant again. Great. 9 months later, we're at 18 months now. 4.5 years. Still 2 months. 2. Came to me, grabbed my hand. He called. Can I come in and see you? Sure. Yeah, what's up? I'm dying. Yeah. You were told that like a long time ago, and that didn't happen yet. He goes, no, seriously, I'm dying. I just want to tell you how much I love you, how much I appreciated you as being my doctor, and I'm going to die. That night he died. He died that night. You know what? Most beautiful funeral I've ever been to, and I hate funerals. I'm a doctor. I keep people alive. I hate funerals. Detest them with a passion. Okay? Ask my wife. I'm like a basket case, so I can do anything, but not a funeral. I went to that funeral. His wife, his daughter, his grandkids, all were brought to me. Said this wouldn't have happened if you didn't tell him that he had a will to live. I said it wasn't me telling him he had a will to live. It was he had the will to live. So it's tough. So how do you do it? You got to individualize it. You got to take it down, but don't give them the negatives. Don't tell them that there's no hope. There's always hope.
So is it tough to keep it cool if they like start breaking down, start crying?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not embarrassed. So you asked me, is it tough to keep it together? I've cried. I've cried in front of patients. You're human. These are people that you've cared for, that you have invested yourself in. And it's very humbling, too. I had a real difficult time when patients would die on my watch. Because, again, I'm there to... can we pull these somehow? Because these poor guys are, like, bombarded by... I think you already have a suntanner, too. Is it this thing? All right. Is that better? Except you're in the line of fire. Did I get it? Okay. Other questions, comments?
Hey, Rick.
Tom?
What was it like? What was your mindset when you were back at the yogurt company, counting blueberries and cherries, which I know is not what you wanted to do in college, and now, after 25 years of wonderful experience in your career, what would you have done differently at that time, if anything?
Wow. What would I have done differently? Geez, Tom, I don't think I would have. I think I kind of stumbled into the experience and kind of stuck with it. They actually had me in a track to kind of get from quality control to a management position and kind of work up from there. But I think I decided after I had to fix a robot in a big cooking oven for yogurt. I was crawling on my hands and knees at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to fix this thing, and the next robot, because the line staff hadn't shut down the robots, came in behind me as the cooling oven doors coming down, and I'm in the middle of this thing. That was a little bit of a realization that maybe I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I had to kick the robot to stop him while I was trying to fix the other guy and got him out.
Were you frustrated in that? Were you going through thoughts of, gosh, I'm just graduated from college and this isn't what I wanted to do? And how did you keep a perspective that, well, it's okay for now because I have somewhere to go further? Yeah,
life did frustrate me. When I got laid off, that was a huge humbling experience. Then I got hired. It was like a little woohoo. And then I was frustrated very quickly, in that. And, prayer to say, Lord, please you've got something better for me, I know, and I know I just got to persevere through this experience. Something's going to come along. You're going to show me the way at some point, and he did. And I honestly didn't think medical school was going to work out, you know. But again, prayer and focus really helped. I hope that got it. Anybody else? Sure.
You had said that you went into medicine because you felt the Lord was calling you there because of the lack of physicians in that field. What would you say is probably one of the greatest demands in the medical field now?
Okay, question is the greatest demands in the medical field now, primary care, by far. Not to politicize things, but the Affordable Care Act, the bedrock of that piece of legislation is primary care and getting patients into primary care. We're going to have a lack of 60,000 primary care physicians within the course of the next 4 years, which is huge. And if you think about it, you really need, you know, primary care physicians to help steer patients to specialists. If you see the orthopedic surgeon, they just want to deal with the joints. If you see the gastroenterologist, they just want to deal with your digestive tract, you know, neurologist, nerves, etc. You really need somebody that pulls it all together for you and makes it happen. So there was a lack when I came out. There's still a great need now, and hence why, you know, I chose that direction. And that was because of the wonderful economics classes I had of supply and demand. Right? You got to remember that at times, you know. We don't talk about guns and butter, but we'll talk about supply and demand.
Since you were pre-med student at home, when you left home, did you apply to med school and then go in, and then get in, or what happened?
No, I waited. I wasn't sure what to do, to be honest with you, and again, you know, how many times we're being forced into that? You got to have it. You got to have that direction. You know, I think you remember whatever field, you know, each of you guys are seeking. There's huge opportunities outside of that. You know, biology has a huge landscape of opportunities. There's biomedical stuff. There's pharmaceutical stuff. There's laboratory stuff. There's, you know, CSI. You know, I mean, you know. And in the business world, you know, people banking, you know, banking is not just being a bank teller. You know, that's what we think. You know, banking's got some really cool stuff to it. Business does, law does. I mean, you know, so I wasn't sure yet, you know, when I kind of came out of here, you know, and kind of struggled with that. So, you know, the journey ended well. And Lord only knows what's going on beyond that. I started taking some MBA classes. Yeah, I'd like to nail down an MBA and see what happens with that. You know, so, you know, and one of the other points is education doesn't stop here or at the grad school level, right? It's constant. And learn until you die. Even when you're in your 80s, learn something. Okay? So that answer it for you?
Yeah.
Great. Others?
Is that against the law for a doctor to write something in a record on a sticky note or on the back of another sheet, or is it just they write it whenever they want?
All right, so kind of two questions, right? Question number one is it against the law to, or no, I'm sorry, is it against the law to lose things?
No, it's more like, is it against the law for a doctor to just write a record on a sticky note, put it on a piece of paper in a file, or does it have to be documented on a template or something?
As long as that physician, so is it against the law? It's not. However, it's bad practice because, and there's some medical records things, like our company, if you were doing that, we had a doctor that had all of his medical records on 3x5 cards, and they were alligator clipped together. He's no longer a doctor within our medical group. So there's a slight difference between the legality of it and the practicality of it. Is it illegal? No, but it's impractical and ill-advised because you lose that stuff, you're done. What's happening in medicine now is a real push, and I think most of you are aware of this, everything into electronic, right? You know, I've got a computer, all my patient stuff is on that, you know, things like that. It was a huge undertaking for us to go from paper charts to electronic and get all that information in, and huge undertaking still with taking all that paper information and putting it out. If the doctor's got the 3x5 cards, the sticky notes, the things like that, that sticky note gets lost, he's done. And if he ever gets sued, and his backup was that sticky note, and he can't provide it, he's done. So is it truthfully illegal? It's not. It's more ill-advised.
So basically, I had a situation where my records were misplaced, and I was given the wrong treatment because of that. Do I have the legal right to sue?
Your choice. I'm not going to tell you yes. I'm not going to tell you no. I'm going to say, from my standpoint, it was ill-advised to have things in that format. It should be easily reproducible, and, you know, so you can see whatever that event was, here's the course of treatment. Others? Or are you all roasted and
I just want to know, how did marketing play into your life? Whether it be like help you decide what college you want to go to, what major you want to go into, what career?
how did marketing play into my life? I'm not sure how to answer that, to be honest with you. I don't know that I was swayed by any marketing, you know, gizmo or saying or approach. As much as when asked and marketing material was provided to me, was that factual information I was being provided? You know, about my residency program, about, you know, Houghton when I was looking at Houghton. You know, taking a look at the stuff that, you know, Houghton puts out to attract students. Is it valid? Is it trustworthy? Is it, you know, factual? You know, that I think is probably where marketing probably had the greatest influence on me. And, you know, in the pharmaceutical industry, oh, Dr. Vienne, this drug does wonderful things. You know, this study of 12 of 12 patients got better. What the heck, you know? I mean, really? 12 of 12? You know, but it cured all 12. You know, don't waste my time. You know, it's not good. I think marketing really is trustworthy, factual pieces of data, and let the individual discern whether or not they feel that that's going to motivate them to, you know, either purchase or select or whatever. You know. You're welcome.
Going off of that, did you ever have to be involved in any kind of marketing activity in your career?
Do I ever do marketing? I do talks. I've talked like this to Time Warner. I actually did a thing called Medical Myths Facts, and it's marketing about medicine. You know, coffee is bad for you. True or false? False, 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 false. Why false? Supposedly causes pancreatic cancer. Right? You haven't heard that? 2 cups of caffeinated coffee daily can help reduce your risk of diabetes by 26% if you're male and 28% if you're female. JAMA 3 years ago. Eggs are bad for you. True or false? True, true. False, false, false. False. Why? Got some decent protein in it, right? So the egg white's pretty good, the egg yolk, but you know, eating eggs is not going to kill you. Eating too many things and raising your cholesterol will. So marketing, I do market for Univera. I do work it for myself in the medical practice through engagement with my employer groups. So it's Time Warner, Geico, Monroe Muffler, Seneca Foods. These are all companies that I've spoken to, their heads of HR. I've talked to their employees. I've talked to units, made a presentation to them. The Retired Teachers Association for New York State, I've talked to them. So marketing, you know, we like to affix the term marketing to always some ad campaign, right? But remember, marketing is a lot of relationship, a lot of knowledge share. It's a lot of other things. And so I would argue I've probably marketed tonight, you know, who I am, what Univera is about, Lifetime Health Medical Group. I didn't sell those things, right? But you learned a little bit about the culture of them. So I would say yes. Okay, I think we're done. I just want to thank each and every one of you for your attention. Thank you for coming out. I really, truly want the best outcomes for you, and hopefully the quality experience that you received here at Houghton is going to give you that quality outcome. So on behalf of myself, thank you, and it's a great pleasure to have spoken to you.